Hey everybody, number 16 on the Criterion collection. Samurai 3, Duel at Ganryu Island. Again, directed by Hiroshi Inagaki, 1956. So again, a year after the previous ones from Japan. This is one of the best plotted, planned, and executed trilogies of film I've seen. It is tight. The story, you could watch them in one continuous setting. It is not one of those situations where often now in Hollywood you don't get to plan for a trilogy. What you get to do is you get to put out a movie, and if it's successful, then you get to make the next one or even the next two if it's super successful. But because of that wait and see approach, there's a time lag between them, and during that time lag, you might lose actors to other projects or whatever. This was clearly conceived as a trilogy from the beginning. It helps that they're adapting a single piece of work into this trilogy, but you get to see sort of the satisfying conclusion of every individual storyline, which I really like. It's really well done. So our first movie was him learning to be a man instead of an animal. Our second movie was him learning to be a samurai rather than a man with a sword. This third movie is him at his peak. It picks up a year after the first one ends, but he is now a world-renowned Ronin. So typically samurai were in service to a lord. If you were a samurai without a master, you were a Ronin, wandering, looking to get hired on. Although that never seems to be his motivation. He started this because he just wants fame and glory. And now he just does it because he loves it, I guess. The final duel is fantastic. And the actual duel at Ganryu Island. What's fun is, because I mentioned previously how these samurai duels typically work. Well, this one is quite complex. They clash like 4 or 5 times. But it's funny. It's the climactic battle, and it happens in like the last 5 minutes of the movie, because these samurai duels do go fast. I kind of like that about them, though. It gives them a charm. There's a lot of tension built up around each individual strike. Everything I've said before is still true here. The movie is very pretty. It's nice to look at. The actors do a great job. The story is good. It's interesting because this is kind of a culmination. This samurai that he duels at Ganryu, it was introduced in the previous one. He's an up and coming, and by the time the duel happens, he's kind of considered to be maybe the second best swordsman. It was my understanding that historically nobody thought that our main character would win this duel. Whereas in this movie, it seems much more likely that he's going to win. Who actually wins? Watch the movie. Watch it for yourself. It's an excellent trilogy. Each one of these movies clocks in at an hour and a half, an hour and 40 minutes. So none of them are super long. And they're good. I enjoyed all 3 of them. But I am ready to move away from samurai. I am ready to try something new. This was a satisfying conclusion to the trilogy. This trilogy doesn't have any weak bits in it. I recommend all 3 movies. Our next movie is Italian from 1976, directed by Pier Paolo Pasolini. And it is called Salò, or The 120 Days of Sodom. I know nothing about this movie other than it's supposed to be very disturbing. So, not 100% looking forward to this, but we'll see what we get. I know it's a quick one, but it's... I'm not here to pad out time. There's only so much I can talk about a movie and a director when it's a trilogy. I feel like I've covered it all at this point. It's a good time. I do recommend it. Moving on. I'll see you guys next time.